Hello everybody. Hi. Hello. My name is Rose, if you don't know already, even though most of the people that watch my channel is only my parents, but you never know who is watching. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's been on my mind and also on my For You page, because we could just never get over this topic. We could just never stop talking about this thing. And since no one else wants to stop talking about it, guess what? Now I'm gonna talk about it. These are just my pure thoughts. I didn't write a script. I didn't write an outline of anything. This is just kind of just literally just my commentary and just my thoughts on it. So don't fact check me, but my intuition and my real life experience of seeing, different people's lives, I feel like it's good enough, okay? So it's not good enough for you. You're gonna have to deal with it. Thank you. If you have seen podcast clips on your For You page, on your Instagram Reels, on your YouTube Shorts, on your Facebook, you have known one of the hottest topics, unfortunately, once again, that has been talked about is going 50-50. I feel so strongly about this because just like on top of everything else, it's just so annoying and it's so played out. I can't take it anymore. If I hear one more podcast mentioning or bringing up the topic about 50-50, I'm going to do horrible things. I feel like it's doing great damage to our society. It is 2024 and we're still asking people on podcasts, oh, are you gonna go 50-50 with your girl? Stop it, please. I personally feel like anytime I hear, oh, like, are you going 50-50? It's such a damn if you do, damn if you don't. It's like you're never gonna win with your answer. Most of the time, these men, they ask this because it's this sort of way to be like, oh, women said they wanted equal rights, right? You guys said that you guys wanted to be equal, so this is the cost. Which is not true, because these are the same podcasts that preach, man, I miss traditional women. This modern woman, they're so self-absorbed, they're so self-reliant, I miss traditional women, right? But going 50-50 is not a part of quote-unquote traditional beliefs. So I'd be confused because it's like you actually do. Well, actually, I don't think any of these men who talk on these podcasts actually know what they really want in a relationship. They're just spewing out things that they've heard from other misogynistic men, and it's just like, oh, I want to be a part of a community because I'm lost and I have no soul. So they're just latching onto this a very harmful community and just spewing out whatever they say so that they can seem like they're tapped in, but really they're not tapped into anything because there's nothing up here. When these conversations get brought up, and it's like, now the women are on the hot seat. Are you gonna go 50-50? What's the choice you're gonna make, ma'am? And it's like, so let's say the woman is just like, yeah, I don't mind going 50-50 with my significant other. Then the whole room explodes. You see, that's the issue with y'all women today, is that y'all don't want the man to be the provider. You guys want to be a part of everything. The man is the head of the household. Why do you want to go 50-50 with the man? And then it's just like, okay, all right. So then if a other woman, a part of this We're Behind podcast, is like, actually, I would prefer if my man covers everything financially and, I stay at home, take care of the kids, make our house a home. And then it's like, you see, you women are gold diggers. You just want men for their money. You guys bring nothing to the table. And then it's just like, so what's the answer that you're really looking for? And that's why it's not productive, because there's not actually a true right answer or something that they are looking for. Because is that most of the time in these conversations, the women are very, I guess, self-aware, and it's that in this situation the woman has to make the choice. When in reality, if you're going based off traditional conservative households, is that, babe, you're not making a decision. It's already happening. You got thrown in. It already happened. You got to deal with it. You got to eat that. And with these conversations is that it's always a damn if you do, damn if you don't, because the whole point is that they don't want the woman to make the decision. No, the whole point is that the man is the head of the household. This is the list of things that they should do, and then if they're not doing that, then blah 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 blah. Above all, it's just like they don't even, they're arguing and they're saying these things, but they don't even know what they truly want. Because there's some men where it's like, oh, if I wanted someone to decorate my house and I wanted someone to supply groceries and stuff like that, I could just get a maid, I could just get a cook. You have to bring something to the table, blah 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 blah. Homemaking is not that hard. So then if you say, okay, like, all right, yes, I don't mind working, I could work, and then we could get a cook and we could get a maid to do that work. Since both of us are working full time, no one's gonna really have the time to be doing all of that. And then it goes into, oh, but why would I pay for a cook and a maid when you're my wife? That's what I married you for. Oh. Becomes a point where men can use this conversation, say hey, and bash on women. The point of it is not to have a constructive talk about like, well, maybe they're gonna talk about, good ways to figure out how would you handle things financially with your life partner. Or maybe when we're talking about 50-50, are we only talking about finances, or are we talking about different things like house chores, and are we talking about the emotional factor in the relationship? Is never productive. And then they say the same thing every time, and that's also why it's so annoying, because it's like, you guys are not original, you guys are not bringing original takes to this conversation, and that's why it should die heavily, quickly. Another reason is that we're having these very intimate and very circumstantial conversations with people who we're not in a relationship with, and this is why it would never make sense. Why are you asking your homeboys if they're going 50-50? You're not marrying him. You're not dating him. So why does it matter? You're asking random woman on the street who is not your partner these very intimate questions. And it just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't get it. It's just like, why? And also it's just like, they always feel so passionate, and it's just like, but you're literally not with this person, so it doesn't even really matter. But it's that the reason why they care so much is that what they try to do is that they are nitpicking and trying to find all these reasons of how to generalize women to make it seem like women are the biggest enemy to men, which is not true. But that's the ammo that they use. They're looking for little things that they could edit out and they could piece together to make it seem however it is to fit the narrative of what's going on in the manosphere. Like, if someone I'm not interested was like, oh, like, no, I'm gonna be a provider, and it's like, okay, like, great, babes, good for you, but like, we're not in a relationship, so I don't feel like it would matter. To be the perfect answer in these conversations is that what they really want is that they want to intermingle of things. They just want whatever fits their narrative. If it's that they want to show that, oh, women don't bring much to the table, they can't provide much, they're going to nitpick the video clip of the girl saying, yeah, I just want to be a stay-at-home wife and my man can provide. And it's like,
you see, man, you're a high-value man. You shouldn't settle for a housewife, da-da-da-da-da.
But if the narrative is that, we gotta go back to our traditional ways, the traditional American way, because these modern women are scary and they will not let you be a man. They will belittle you. They will take the clip of the woman that's like, hey, I don't mind paying 50-50 with my husband, because the whole point is that they do not care about your opinion. All of these things, particularly with men, where it goes down to these things where it's like, feminism are women, fighting for equality. It's always that, oh, you want equality? How about I make you suffer? And then it's just like, okay. Like, for example, it's like, oh, you want to have equal rights? Then now you gotta get drafted into the army. How much sure you gonna like that, huh? We're gonna draft you into the army. It's equal rights, right? Let's draft you into the army. And it's just like, idiot, that wouldn't be equal rights because no one is getting freaking drafted, you idiot. Or it's like, oh, you want equal rights, so I should be able to punch you in the face, right? Right now, I should be able to punch you in the face. Oh, why are you not buying me flowers, huh? Oh, I thought it was equal rights. Men don't deserve flowers? Oh. So it's always these things where it's just like, oh yeah, we just want to be able to have equal pay, be able to vote, you know, access to healthcare. And then it's like, but what if I and put violence into this? Not versus fair game. And then it's just like, you guys scare me. And this is where I feel like the whole 50-50 conversation stems from. And then it's always just like, where is this disconnect happening? And is it because that you feel like these quote unquote gender roles that have been really enslaving you for all of your life, is that once that a woman is able to do the same thing, is that your masculinity and you being a man is being threatened? Because now is that, oh, a woman can also vote. Now this so-called power and entitlement that I was said I was gonna get when I become a man is now being questioned. Now it's fair game. Now I get to abuse my power. What would I do now? I'm getting gassy because I'm fearful. Does 50-50 even makes like, okay, honestly, okay, bear with me a bit while I'm going through this in my head. Because when people's like, oh, would you go 50-50? That's insinuating that, let's say you are contributing $1,000, I'm contributing $1,000. But we haven't even accounted for like how much each other is making. Like if I'm making less money than you, my 1,000 is no longer 50. Maybe me giving 1,000, that's more 60 or 80%, right? And maybe you giving maybe the other person, maybe the other person makes more money. So really them giving 1,000, it's not really 50, it's 20%. So then are we talking like, it's so many things to like, are we talking about 50-50, just like, okay, we cutting everything down the line and we pay that? Or like, are we talking about like 50% of your own income? Because that's a whole entire different conversation. But you see how it's like, now I got you thinking like, that's a great point. But it never gets to the point where it's just like, oh, like let's actually start thinking and use our brains. No, we're asking brain rot questions so that people could just go in this and be like, yeah, women bad, women annoying, and press repost and go about their day. Because I don't think necessarily, I mean, personally for me, I don't think having, some of these conversations could be actually useful. Like, I think it is interesting wondering how couples organize their finances, right? Because typically, as much as people may not believe this, a lot of households, the men are not just paying for everything. At least for most of the households I know, is that if it's a 2-parent household, is that both parents are working. And sometimes 9 times out of 10 is the mom bringing in that money. I do think it's interesting to see like, how would you divide that? But it's that all of these things are so circumstantial, It's not just, okay, this is the rule and that's it. Because that's not how life works. Aww. And I think ultimately that's what it is. Ultimately, I think anyone who consumes a lot of dating advice, a lot of relationship content, is that as people, we are so used to following a routine and a set of things. If you tell us what to do, we'll do it and we'll follow it so that we could get the same results. And that's okay. It's okay to admit that. We all do it. That's kind of how life is. Life is be born, go to school, get a job, have baby, have house, die. Is that what we're trying to do, is to make relationships so transactional and so like, okay, here are all the things that you do and then you're gonna have a good relationship. Yeah, if you follow these exact same steps, you'll have a great relationship. So that's why so many of these podcasts are like, so are you gonna go 50-50? oh, like as a man, as a woman, this, da 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 da, this, da 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 da, that, in your relationship, this, in your relationship, that, is because people are like, maybe I'm doing it wrong. So if I look at other people, I could potentially be in a better place. And unfortunately, bad news, all of these people on these podcasts do not know what they're talking about. But ultimately, is that people just want to know like what works best, because sometimes you get in a relationship and you're like, wow, that one didn't really work out, so let me seek other things and other sources that maybe will have better answers. But the true thing is that they don't have better answers. They don't even give you direct answers. A lot of these podcasts and a lot of these dating coaches are very contradictory, because guess what, gender roles are contradictory. And guess what, a lot of these dating advices are based on gender roles. I know. And the reason why I say that gender roles are contradictory is similar to the point I said before, right? As a woman, yes, people do expect you to cook and to clean and to be a homemaker and to be submissive and be there for your family and, you know, your husband, your kids, your mom, your dad, your brother, your dogs. But also at the same time is that, baby, have to be more than just a pretty face. You can't just be pretty. That's not enough. Dang. And that's the hard truth. It's like, dang, you can't even just be pretty. That's not even gonna get you by. So why you have to do that is that, but also as a woman, you have to remember, you have to be smart enough and also, you know, have hobbies and kind of seem like, you know, you're not just a shell of a human being, but you know, there's something in there. But once you get the man, all of that has to go away. Okay, no more personality. No more thoughts in that little pretty head of yours, okay, babe? So that's very contradictory. A lot of these men on these podcasts are like, oh, I don't want a gold digger. I want someone who can bring something to the table. But then at the same time, will be like, oh, women with degrees are a turnoff for me because they are very threatening. Like, specifically, personally talking for me, is that after seeing all this stuff about the manosphere and what people are talking about and their expectations of women and stuff like that, it kind of does terrify me. And I'm like, oh, you guys are really scary, because a lot of the messages that they're pushing out there is really not safe and is very harmful. But I try not to get too much in my head, because I'm like, possibly people can't really be like this in real life, right? So above all, I think that's just my message, is just that, you know, you have to get in the field and do it for yourself. You have to get to know people, and once you get to know people, you can see if you're compatible or not, and you could go on from there. There's no strategic way, there's no playbook, there's no tutorial. You just have to do it. And we should be able to love each other in safe spaces and not want to be the oppressor of each other and get up a one-up on each other. We should just be able to love each other. Guys, peace and love, please. Where's at? Now I think I've talked so much, I actually have no thoughts in my head about the topic. Yeah, it was very interesting to just talk off the dome, and hopefully my thoughts were at least a little bit cohesive. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. I try to keep it lighthearted and fun, but I still want to spread a positive message with you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, so you guys could also talk about how much you hate this 50-50 topics and dating coach and dating advice and all that stuff, and so you guys could bond together. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Honestly, my brain is literally empty. Like, there's literally nothing going on up there. So on that note, I'm done talking. Peace.